Hello everyone, and today we've got a school bus hood in the paint booth. It's had a little bit of body work done to the driver's side, front corner up by the headlamp area. So this job's pretty straightforward. Just going to do a little blend here, color blend in this area, and clear coat the entire hood. I prepped this hood with 600 grit and a gray Scotch-Brite pad. And I'll put the materials that I used up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, so you know exactly what I used and how I set my gun up. So this job was a bit of a headache. I'm still learning the ins and outs of color matching, and some colors I don't have too hard of a time with. Other colors just want to make me bang my head up against the wall, and this was one of those colors. So initially I grabbed some paint chips and spray out cards and tried to just get something close, see if I could come up with something close from what we had just laying around real quick. I had a couple that were kind of close, but I just didn't think were gonna work out very well. So I went and grabbed our Prophet and used that to take a reading, and the computer gave me a code of SYY for its suggested best match. It's a Hyundai code, and it's called Sunflower, and the code again was SYY. I'll put that up in the corner as well so you guys can see. So what you're seeing here is the just prime color, and it's not too bad of a match really. I did make quite a few adjustments to it. I spent a while trying to get the color as close as I could, because usually we wouldn't waste or use up too much time on the school bus, but the bus is new, and it's just good practice, just try to get it as close as you can. And like I said, it was a headache. I made several adjustments, mainly with one of the yellow tints in the base coat. I think the finished product at the end of the day, I think it'll pass. If anything, it's a bit too yellow. I mean, it's just the average person's probably not going to give it a second look, but after you're spending some time in the booth with this and making adjustments, your eyes, I think sometimes my eyes and any other painter's eyes, you know exactly what you did and where you did it, so you can kind of see the color difference on some of these colors, and that's kind of how I was feeling. I was getting kind of frustrated, but I came up with what I ended up with was something that was honestly as close as I could get it. Like I said, I'm still learning the ins and outs of color matching. It is very tough, very tough. But it is something I want to master. So with all that being said, I did my usual process, 3 to 5 minutes flash time in between base coat, and here you can see I've got the wax and grease remover out. This is how I check my blends. It kind of simulates what clear coat's going to look like over your base coat. It shines it up, so you can get an idea of what it's going to look like when it's finished. And even just looking in the video, I can see kind of where my blend's at, but it really just depends on the angle. The big thing will be taking it outside and seeing how it reacts to true sunlight. I don't have a sun gun. I do have a pin light that I use for blending metallics, which is very helpful. But on a big piece like this, you really need something almost like a spotlight, you know, for something where you can shut the lights off and go in there and just hit it with a big spotlight. But I do not have one of those, so I'm just doing the best I can with my own eyes. And you can see this color has a bit of a flop to it, and that's how it was in the booth too. It's not just the video. It kind of, depending on the angle you're looking at, it either has a bit more orange to it or a bit more yellow. So, and the color itself has no pearls or metallics or anything like that. It's just a solid color. So it's one of those colors. That's how I would describe it. But I pressed forward through my frustration, and I chose the color that I thought that I could get, you know, as close as I could to the factory color. And I guess I'm as happy as I could be with the results. It really comes down to the customer. If it passes my boss's approval, I don't think, not sure if they've looked at it yet or not. This was on a Friday afternoon, so keep you guys updated and let you know the outcome of this for sure. And so we're on to the clear coat now. And this hood is pretty big. I had to get a ladder so I could reach as far as I could forward. And then when I move to the front, I'm basically reaching as far forward as I can to pick up that wet edge. And I did put on, or I did have a few little dry areas on this first coat. In the area I just did, you might be able to catch them here. Those booth lights hit it right. But I was able to pick those up on my second coat, and the finished clear looks really nice. So, and once again, as usual for clear coat, I'm running the silver cap on my LPH 400, and I like to run around 31 psi when I'm spraying clear coat. Really, boy, it just atomizes the paint so well, so well. Really love the Iwata guns. And no, I'm not being paid to say that. That's just my opinion. I learned to paint on a Sada Jet 3000K pressure pot gun, and I painted on that gun for 2 years, and I just never felt like I could connect with the gun. I mean, the gun itself, you know, it's sprayed great. You know, I can't complain about it. But as soon as I got my first Iwata, I was sold on them. You have to get real close to the panels, as you can see here, and that does take a little bit of time to get used to. But once you get that figured out, there's no trickery to it, as I felt there was with the Sada. You know, you just set it up. I like 1.5 turns in on the fan and 2.5 out on the fluid, and pretty much just hold that trigger down and stay close, and watch the clear layout nice and flat. And I have tried, actually for a while I was spraying at 29 psi on the clear coat, and that's okay. I just like, I don't know, just I guess my style, I like a bit more air pressure. So I think that's all there really is to say about this job. Hope you guys enjoy this video. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you have the time to. I'd greatly appreciate that. And if anybody has any pro tips on color matching, my ears are wide open. Always looking to take tips from other painters. So if you got any, throw them my way. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks. See you guys later.
You can't stop it now.